In the pouring rain of a June morning deep in Kerala's Idukki district, a 5-ton bull elephant stood motionless on a narrow mountain road. He didn't move, didn't charge, just blocked the way, his eyes fixed ahead. Behind him, a rickety bus filled with 17 villagers crawled up the slick incline, its headlights cutting through mist and monsoon. The driver tapped the horn, then again, urgently now. But the elephant didn't flinch. That's when the unease began. Why wouldn't he move? What was he guarding? Just 30 yards ahead, hidden beneath rain and jungle shadow, the earth was gone. A collapsed bridge. A vanished road. A fall hundreds of feet deep. But no one knew that yet. Not the driver. Not the passengers. Only the elephant. And what he did next would make headlines, and save lives. Hit like, subscribe, and let's go. Each morning, before the sun rose over the wet hills of Idukki, Ramesh turned the key in his old bus and listened for the familiar rumble. He'd driven this route for 15 years, through jungle curves, past quiet villages, always before the heat and traffic of the day. It was his rhythm, steady and predictable. The passengers knew him by name, some brought fruit, others stories. He liked the silence of the early hours, the way mist clung to the treetops like smoke. He'd often slow down for monkeys, sometimes even wild boars. Elephants, though, they kept their distance. Or so he believed. That morning, like so many before, he left with 17 neighbors heading to the Saturday market. He didn't know it would be the last ordinary ride he'd ever take. The rain had started again, harder this time, pounding the roof of the bus like a warning. The road narrowed near the forest reserve, where landslides were known to scar the hillsides without mercy. That's when he saw it. A massive shape in the mist ahead. At first, Ramesh thought it was a trick of the fog. But as the wipers cleared the windshield, the shape became unmistakable. A wild elephant. Alone. Standing broad across the road, head low, unmoving. It wasn't grazing. It wasn't walking. It was waiting. Ramesh's chest tightened. Elephants had blocked roads before, but never like this. The passengers shifted nervously. Time slowed. He tapped the horn. Nothing. Then again, longer. Still, the elephant didn't move. Instead, it raised its trunk and struck the wet pavement with force. Once. Twice. As if to say, stop. Rainwater rushed in streams down the sides of the narrow road, turning the asphalt slick and uncertain. The elephant still didn't move. Its ears twitched, not in rage, but in focus, like it was listening to something beyond human hearing. Ramesh's foot hovered over the pedal. He could try to edge past, there was just enough room. But something in the animal's stillness felt off. Not angry. Not wild. Intent. Then he noticed it, a faint crack in the road ahead, barely visible under the water, like a scar splitting the earth. The bus lights flickered as thunder rolled through the valley. A woman whispered a prayer. Ramesh gripped the wheel tighter. He'd driven this route hundreds of times. But never had the forest felt this quiet. This heavy. Something was wrong. And whatever it was right in front of them. Ramesh turned off the engine. The silence inside the bus was thick, broken only by rain on glass and the shallow breaths of those behind him. He stepped out slowly, boots sinking slightly into the mud at the roadside. The elephant stood firm, eyes locked not on him, but on the road beyond. Ramesh followed its gaze. That's when he saw it clearly, a jagged break in the asphalt, the middle of the bridge already collapsed into the gorge below. His breath caught. If he'd pushed forward, they would have all gone with it. Suddenly, the elephant's strange behavior made sense, not rage, but warning. Ramesh raised a hand, more to steady himself than anything else. Behind him, passengers began to stir. The road was gone, but now they knew. And they had seconds to act. The forest had sent its own guardian. And it had just saved 17 lives. Rain surged harder as the forest roared with wind and water. Ramesh shouted for everyone to get out, his voice finally cutting through the stunned silence. Passengers scrambled, some slipping, others frozen in fear as he helped them one by one onto solid ground. The bus groaned under its own weight, its front tires now terrifyingly close to the fractured edge. A single misstep, one lurch forward, and it would be gone. He ran back, grabbing an elderly man still gripping his seat. Mud clung to their shoes, the ground shifting beneath them. The elephant hadn't moved, still guarding the road like a sentinel. As the last passenger stepped off, a crack echoed through the valley. The rear of the bridge shuddered. Ramesh turned just in time to see the back half of the bus tilt. And then, silence. Would it hold? Would any of them? Everything stopped. The rain softened, falling in hushed sheets over the broken road. The bus sat tilted at the edge, headlights dimmed, its engine quiet for the first time in years. No one spoke. The villagers stood huddled beneath trees, soaked to the skin, their eyes fixed on the place they'd just escaped. Ramesh leaned against a rock, breath shallow, hands trembling. His heart still raced, though the danger had passed, or had it? The bridge groaned again, like a wounded thing. The elephant remained where it stood, motionless, watching. No one dared move. Time seemed suspended, stretched across a narrow line of cracked concrete and sheer drop. Had they made it? Or were they still just one heartbeat away from disaster? The forest was quiet now. But no one trusted the silence. Not yet. With a deep, shuddering crack, the rear of the bridge gave way. The bus slipped, then dropped, metal screaming as it vanished into the mist below. Gasps tore through the group. Someone sobbed. Ramesh dropped to his knees, mud soaking his clothes, eyes locked on the empty space where the bus had stood. Seconds earlier, they'd all been inside. Just seconds. No one moved. Then, movement. Not from the people, but the elephant. It lowered its head slightly, turned, and began to walk back into the forest. No panic. No rush. Just purpose. As if its work was done. And it was. 17 lives still stood on that road because it had blocked their path. Not a barrier. A warning. A savior in silence. The forest closed behind him. And no one would ever see him again. Ramesh never saw the elephant again. But every time he passed that curve, now marked with a new warning sign and a steel-reinforced bridge, he slowed down, not just out of habit, but out of memory. Something shifted in him that day. The forest was no longer just scenery. It was alive, watchful, willing to act when humans failed. He no longer honked at animals on the road. He waited. He listened. The villagers spoke of the guardian in hushed, grateful tones. Some left fruit at the roadside, a silent thank you. It wasn't just about survival, it was about trust, about humility before a force older and wiser than they understood. Not all heroes wear uniforms. Some walk on 4 legs and disappear without a trace. And maybe, just maybe, the forest remembers kindness too. Thank you for watching this incredible story. It's a reminder that the world is full of unexpected heroes, often ones we least expect. Whether it's a wild elephant in the heart of the Indian forest or the quiet moments in our own lives, sometimes the right action comes from the most surprising places. So, what do you think? Could there be more to these animals than we realize? What other stories of unexpected heroism have you come across? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, And don't forget to like and subscribe to stay connected for more powerful stories. We never know where the next one will come from, but we know they're out there, waiting.